Hello, this is Ms. Hall, and I'm going to get you started using MathXL today. Okay, first thing I want you to do, open up Google Chrome, and I want to show you something that could possibly happen to you. So just kind of a little warning here. If you go to Google and you type MathXL, because that's the program we will be using, the very first link will not work for you. Okay, you can go there, you can sign in using the username and password that I've set up for you. But once you've signed in, it's going to ask you for an access code, or it's going to ask you to enroll in a course. MathXL is used at the college level. That is not what we want. We want MathXL for school. Okay, that's what we use for the high school level. So if you're Googling, you need to do math. You can do MathXL. Notice it is an option here when I Google MathXL, but just make sure you're getting into the correct website, and it's mathxlforschool.com. Okay, www.mathxlforschool.com. Okay. Once you get to this website, notice it says grades 6 through 12. It's got more like high school looking students on it. So this is the correct website. I've already created a username and password for everybody using just your last name, first name, and generic email address that we use here at the school. So I'm going to go to sign in. I apologize, Victoria, but I am going to go ahead and use your information as the example. Okay, so, but anyway, your browser settings don't allow pop-ups. You're going to see this, and it's very important that we fix this because your homework and everything done in MathXL is a pop-up window. It pops up on top of your home screen. So we have to actually allow this. Okay, so I'm just going to say don't show this again and exit it out. But up here, I've got a little red X up here in the right-hand top corner of my computer screen. I'm going to click on that, and I want to allow pop-ups for the MathXL website. Okay, so it'll quit asking me that, but I do have to allow the pop-ups to not be blocked because that's how you're going to be able to do your homework and everything. Okay, so hit done. So your usernames are going to be your last name dot your first name. Okay, and then at ltisdschools.net. Okay, your password, and let me back up a second to your username. Even if your email from the school is not Cordova.Victoria, let's say it's too many letters, and so they've shortened it for you. I still used your full last name dot your full first name. Okay, and I'll show you once we're in the program how to go in and change it if I did, create an email that's not correct for you. Okay, the password's going to be almost the same for everybody. It's capital C, lowercase ALC. Okay, it's short for calculus because I know you're all in calculus right now. So it's capital C and then lowercase ALC. And then to make it unique for each of you, I did the last 4 digits of your student ID. Okay, so I won't say those out loud because each of you should have a unique last 4 of your student ID. So again, it's capital C, lowercase ALC, and then the last 4 digits of your student ID. Now we want to hit sign in. And this is what your main page for college algebra is going to look like. You're going to see some changes come to it as Mr. Huffaker adds more assignments and things like that. But the first thing, so I don't forget to show you where this is at, is I do want to show you where to change your username, your password, your emails, things like that. But I want you to keep in mind as you consider going in to change your username and password is that Mr. Huffaker, myself, we will not have access to those usernames or passwords. So you have to make sure that whatever you change it to, you remember what it is because we won't have a way of fixing that for you, okay? So if you want to change your email address, especially because if I created something that doesn't really exist, you need to go in and fix that. So you click up here where you see it says Victoria Cordova. You should have your name, obviously, and you want to go to Edit Account. It's going to make you sign in again. Okay, so you're going to sign in, same username and password we just used to get in, and then it'll let you edit all of these things. So if you want to edit and change your email address to whatever you need to change it to, if I got it incorrect, and then you need to shorten your username if you want to. But again, you have to remember what you change it to, because Mr. Huffaker will not have access to fix it for you if you get yourself locked out. I will tell you, for the security question, I set you all up with the same exact security question. I'm sorry, because I know for most of you it's probably wrong, but I put for what town was I born in. That's the same question I selected for everyone when I set up your accounts. I just put Austin as the answer, okay? Just capital AUSTIN as the answer for what town was I born. So you can go in and change the security question to something else if you want to make your account have a different security question. Okay, I'm not going to click sign out. I'm just going to exit, which is going to kind of make you nervous at first, but remember that home page stays up behind because everything is done in pop-ups. So this is still here. You can take a look at the calendar. I honestly don't use that a whole lot, but it does have the different assignments that you have available that you can be working on, or when they're going to become available, and then when they're due. I always like to go to the homework and tests, and it has a list for me. And the reason I like to come here is what I actually used to teach with a program called iMathLab, which is made by these same exact people as MathXL. Very, very, very similar, or almost exactly the same, just very small differences between the two. But anyway, my students would, when I was teaching with my MathLab for college, my students would end up doing a bunch of assignments that actually did not count for a grade. And so they were exploring in the program, and they ended up getting into a bunch of problems they thought they needed to do, but actually weren't assigned at all. So what I like about the homework and tests is you can see right here the due dates. And as long as something has a due date, then it is for a grade. And so that's just something to be aware of, because you can go in, like let's say I go to quizzes and tests. I'm just going to play around here. But take a look at all of these quizzes and tests. This is a place my students would think that they needed to be working, and they didn't. These are all just, I don't want to say for fun, but for extra practice. If you notice, it does say sample tests and quizzes, but it looks pretty important. I mean, if you take a look at it. But the only one that Mr. Huffaker has open for you right now is actually just a quiz. So if you don't see a due date by it and a time that it's going to shut down on you, then you don't have to do it. That's what I want you to be aware of, okay? So again, on this drop down, I can look at all assignments. And when I go to all assignments, I have just the stuff that's assigned to me. If I go to homework, I have stuff that's assigned to me, because remember, it has due dates. And if I go down here to quizzes and tests, then there's going to be some extra stuff, okay? Just for fun, I'm going to open up a quiz, a review quiz, just to see what it looks like. So you'll notice that when I do that, it says it'll affect my study plan score, and I can start the test. I'm actually not going to do that. I really want to get in and show you some different homework stuff, that some options you'll have on the homework. So I'm going to go in, let's see, I'll go into the review of basic concepts. I just went under all chapters, and you have to ask yourself again, do these have due dates? No. So these are not part of a grade. I'm just kind of playing around to show you what's in here and try not to do all of Victoria's homework for her. Let me say before I go on too far, before I forget, since I mentioned Victoria's name again, do you see her name stays up here in the top right corner? As you guys come in and out, throughout the weeks and stuff like that, as you learn, as you're using MathXL for all your homework and stuff, always make sure it's your name, because from what I understand, you guys are going to try to use like maybe some Chrome carts or something like that. And so if you pick up a laptop that somebody else used last time and they forgot to log out of their MathXL, you may be doing their homework assignment and not even realize it. So just make sure every time you log on that it's your name before you start the assignment. You don't want to be doing your buddy's homework for them and then have a 0 on your own because nobody logged in as you. So just be aware of that. Make sure it has your name. But anyhow, they have what's called a study plan built into MathXL, and it's pretty cool. If I go to the study plan, take a look at what's here. Again, it takes me to these chapters. I'm just going to do equations and inequalities, let's say linear equations. These are all a bunch of example, questions that you can use. The little video thing next to it, like it looks like a little videotape or something, that tells you that there's a video that goes along with that question. Typically, it's like somebody working out a question similar to it. This little arrow thing is an animation. I honestly have never used the animations. I mean, we tried to play with them before, but they weren't really that helpful, so we didn't ever use them. But let's click on this question and see what's available. So this is what once it pops up, this is what your homework questions are actually going to look like, okay? And it does take a few minutes to load, so just bear with it, give it some time to load and stuff like that. So here's an equation you would want to solve. And you may have no, or I hope you guys all know how to do this, but if you know, some 7th or 8th grader was looking at this and had no idea what to do with this question, they could go over here to question help, okay? So there's an option that says help me solve this, which is going to walk you step by step through how to solve a problem like this. I'll show you that in a second. We have view an example, which is actually kind of my favorite. We have the video. Let's take a look at that really quick. Remember that I've allowed pop-ups, so it did allow that pop-up to come up, and I can play this video. And so this lady is going to explain to you how you would solve a problem similar to what you see in your homework problem. Okay, she's going to go step by step how to do it. So really, really helpful. Love it. Okay. And if she talks too fast, you can slow her down. If she talks too slow, you can speed her up. So that's kind of cool as well. So anyway, you've got a video. That's not available for every single question, but just be aware that for that one it is. I'm going to skip animation. I told you guys I've tried it before, didn't really see the great value in it, but you can play with it, see if it's something you like. Textbook is kind of cool. If you click textbook, it actually goes to the ebook that goes with this college algebra that we've selected for you guys to work on. It's going to want us to get the flash, so I'm not going to go through all that. Mr. Huffaker might have to find a workaround for you guys on that, because I think that you might have to have some administrative rights. You guys will have to just play with that and see if it works. But I was able to do it by just saying allow and stuff like that. So hopefully it didn't ask me for any passwords or anything. So hopefully you guys will be able to do that as well. So anyway, we have the textbook pages that actually teach this concept that's within this problem. And I can hit to the right and see more pages and see an example completely worked out, and read through all this. And I mean, it just works it out for you. And it's just, this is the textbook pages that teaches this lesson. So you can look there if you like to learn from a textbook. What else is there? Ask My Instructor is great, but please don't use it. Ask My Instructor, what that's going to do, it's going to put Mr. Huffaker's email address here. It's going to send him this exact same question. It's going to be like, hey, Mr. Huffaker, I don't know how to do this problem. Well, that's not very helpful, okay? He's going to see the problem, but he can't do all of your homework for you. So what I would always ask my students in the past is, if you're going to email me a question from your homework, you can use the Ask My Instructor button, but please only do it if you believe in your heart of hearts that you are getting the right answer, and for some reason you think there's something wrong with the question. Then email me the question so I can see the exact question that you're struggling with, okay? But for the most part, please don't do the Ask My Instructor. We don't want you to email every single question you have from your homework and say, hey, I don't know how to do this. Hey, I don't know how to do this. Use the other things that are there available to try to figure out how to do it, okay? And then only, again, if you see like there's some type of typo or you think that the question is just bad, definitely email that to us, because we have some abilities as instructors in MathXL to edit problems and things like that if we need to. Okay, so let me walk you through really quick with the Help Me Solve This. So Help Me Solve This is kind of cool, but what it's going to do is it's automatically going to make your question wrong. And I'll show you what to do since it does that. So it says remove the parentheses by multiplying. So we say, 7 times 3 is 21, and then 7 times 5 is 35. So it's walked us through the first step. I'm going to say check answer. And okay, and now it's going to tell me to combine like terms, and it's saying on the right side. So we know that the 11 and the minus 9 can go together to make a positive 2. Okay, check answer. Okay, and says move all terms with variables to the left side of the equation. Okay, continue. And it says how can you get all the terms with variables on the left side? So if I want to take everything to the left side, I think I would add x to both sides personally. I'm going to check that answer. It says, yeah, I can do that. And so if I add x to both sides, then I'm going to have 22x on this side, because you're going to add this x over here, and 21 plus 1 is 22. And then it says move all the terms without variables to the right side of the equation. Okay, we can do that. So how would we do it? We would subtract 35 to the other side. So we're going to do B. And I didn't mention it before, but you'll notice it's always telling you how great you're doing. So if you're having a really low day and you just want to feel better, come play on MathXL, because it's going to tell you over and over, you're wonderful, you're fantastic, you're doing such a good job. So that can really boost your self-esteem. That's what I use it for anyway. So now it says you're going to subtract 35 from both sides. Okay, continue. So 2 minus 35 is negative 33. Okay, so you can use your subtraction symbol to represent negative. It's not like the calculator where it's like sensitive about whether you use a negative sign or a subtraction sign. So I'm going to say minus 33, check my answer, and it says I'm excellent. See how good that feels? So my last step is to divide both sides by 22, which looks like C. Check my answer. One thing I haven't mentioned to you is it's kind of, you might have already noticed it down here in the left side corner, it's telling me all the different parts remaining for the question. When you're in your regular homework assignment, it may just be that you have one part, so it'll say all parts showing. But if you have a multi-part question, you'll see the countdown in that left-hand corner down there, telling you how many parts you have remaining. Okay, so I'm going to say continue. They want the answer. It says simplify your answer, type an integer or a fraction. And so this blue writing that always pops up in your homework is going to tell you how they want you to enter your answer. And you have to be really careful, okay? So we need to think about, it says simplify your answer. Our 33 and 22 is, is negative 33 over 22 simplified. And it's really not. We could divide both of those by 11. Okay, so I'm going to put my negative sign, I'm going to put my fraction button, and then I'm going to put a 3 on the top and a 2 on the bottom. So I'm dividing the top by 11 and the bottom by 11. And then I'm going to check my answer. Okay, I do want you to know if you would have put the negative with the 3 instead, it would accept that. If you would have put the negative with the 2 instead, it would have accepted that. I just prefer to put it outside the fraction, but you have to have it, somewhere. If you just put 3 over 2, it's going to tell you it's wrong. Okay, and then I'm going to continue, and they're making you check your answer. You won't have to do that in your homework. And so you can see the solution is negative 3 halves. And I do want you to know that it does say you could type an integer or a fraction. So if you would have put negative 1.5, sometimes I'll tell you that my past experience, sometimes it'll accept that, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes because it does say it's got to be fraction here, it has to be a fraction. So that's just going to be trial and error on you guys' part. And I do want to encourage you, just play with this. I mean, just get in there and push buttons. You're not going to break it. So just get in there and play with it. See what's available. Back to the question help thing, and I didn't even talk about it. I'm sorry, guys. On your regular homework, it's going to give you green check marks or red X's on your homework. And since I used to help me solve this to solve that, I would have gotten a red X, not a green check mark, because I didn't solve it by myself. It's different with the view and example. With view and example, it's going to just show you the steps, but you're not actually doing anything of, hey, this is how you would do it. And it goes through the whole thing, lets you see it worked out and all that. And then it gives you the same question to try on your own. So with view and example, it doesn't give you the red X. It gives you a problem similar to the one you have on your screen, but you don't actually get a red X for it, okay? On question help, all of these things are not always available. Sometimes you only have textbook as an option. Sometimes you have, help me solve this and view an example and not the video. So it's just going to vary question to question how much help is actually available. So don't get stressed out if you click on a homework question and it only has the textbook as an option. Your next question might have way more stuff. So always just go to the question help and see what's available for each question. I'm going to close, I'm scared to do it, you guys, but I'm going to close this. Hopefully it doesn't close this out of my map. Good, it's still there. And I'm just going to go back to the homework and test, because remember, I was just playing around in the study guide, study plan, excuse me, just to see, just to show you what's available. So again, homework and tests are going to be here with due dates. That's what you want to work on. So it looks like Ms. Trafficker has you guys set up to work on this 7.02 as your first assignment. It only has 3 questions right now. But notice I didn't even talk about it. Let me go back to it. You have a flag here next to one of your assignments. I want to talk about that really quick. Anything with a flag, you're not going to be able to work on, okay? It means it has a prerequisite that you have to complete before you can work on the next thing. And so this one says you have to work, get 100 on like CAC, so maybe calculus, or excuse me, I know what that stands for now, college algebra classwork 7.02. So he wants you to work on the first assignment and get 100 before you move on to the next one. So I'm going to go look at the first assignment here, click on question 1, and you would just watch the video that he has here for you. It may be setting up the problem, it may be a lesson, you just have to look through it. Okay, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to sit here and make you watch the whole thing. It is part of your homework, so you'll have to do that. So you have to watch the video, and then you need to answer the questions that are associated with it. Notice this is all parts showing, so it's not really a long problem. It's just kind of watching the video might take you a few minutes, and then you have to answer these questions. And then you'll go on to question 2. You can do that by doing this drop down that I just did, or I believe you also could just hit the right arrow, watch the video, answer the question. Notice this one has 3 parts remaining, okay? And then watch the video, and then answer these questions, and this one has 2 parts remaining. So you'll have to go through the parts. One thing that you'll notice in the top right corner is you have save. You don't have to save all the time. You can do it just because it's a good habit to be in. I know that. But my math lab, once you get a green check mark, or not my math lab, I'm sorry, you guys are using MathXL. On MathXL, once you get a green check mark, you get to keep that green check mark. It doesn't go away. You do get to keep it, okay? So I'll just hit save, go back here, go back to homework and test. So once you've completed this assignment, then you will be able to get in the homework assignment. He's got the quiz. It's not locked down. I'm guessing that Mr. Hotzaker will go back and change that and have that locked down as well, because he won't want you to attempt the quiz until you've completed the classwork assignment. But notice over here, he's been really nice to you guys. Under attempts for quizzes, you actually have 2 chances. And so if you take the quiz and you're not happy with your grade, then you do have a second attempt, and you can go in, see what you missed on the quiz, go back and review that a little bit, and then take it that second time to get that quiz score up higher, okay? So I know I've gone over a lot. Guys, you just need to get in there and explore and click buttons and figure this out. But just make sure, again, the main thing is, when you're in the homework and test, make sure when you're working on stuff, it does have a due date. That's so important, because you could spend hours working in your study plan and not be getting anything done for your classwork, and that is a big deal. So good luck to you guys. I am across the hall in C112, and any MathXL help you guys need, I'm available to help you guys out, okay? So good luck with it. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it works out for you guys.